seeing 50 of them come off the ocean.
Advised after we made contact with that officer that there were 50 that came off the ocean.
50?
50. That was my reaction also. There were 50 that were coming off the ocean.
And this is a sworn officer?
A sworn officer, yes. We contacted state police, we contacted the FBI, we contacted the Coast Guard, at which point the Coast Guard went out with their boat and they reported seeing 13 following their boat. And then the Coast Guard also advised that they went over them about 300 feet and had a wingspan of about 8 feet.
I see one right here.
Did I see the same thing that officer saw? I'm still not sure. What I can show you is this video. What I can tell you is I've never seen anything like it before.
All right, now we got this alien invasion hoax. I don't know what you want to call it. Do you think it's cap? Do you think it's real? Do you think this is official? Or do you think they're really trying to distract us from something else as usual? Well, there's a lot of speculation saying that this has to do with our own government. This is us faking this alien invasion. Doesn't it seem kind of weird all of a sudden? Now they're leaning so much into this alien invasion, UFO, UAPs. I mean, you let me know in the comments, why is it that in the past history, they always try to debunk it, they discredit this. Now, they lean so much into this, it's becoming a story every day on all networks. We've never seen anything like this before. I don't know what's going on. I strongly believe this is just a government PSYOP. That's it. That's the best way to put it. You don't see Elon bugging out. You don't see Trump bugging out. You don't see Biden bugging out. You don't see anybody tripping right now. No one's losing sleep over this, right? They're acting like it's a normal thing. Are they trying to get us used to something? You let me know in the comments. In the meantime, let me play this video. It's a couple of years old of these two young boys from Washington Heights, New York City, where they explain how they had a 20-minute battery life operated drone, which was eventually followed by the police or the FBI, however they may say it. Long story short is it's impossible for someone to operate a drone and they don't know what's going on or they can't figure it out. You guys want to continue believing that? That's on you. But in the meantime, put on your tinfoil hats. We're about to react to what a lot of people have been debunking for years, and let's see how real this is, all right? Let's go, baby.
We were flying the drone like a 6-story high building, like 15 minutes, 10 minutes, something around there.
Battery only give you 20 minutes
The battery only gives you 20 minutes of flight. And next thing you know, we see NYPD helicopters following the drone.
Which you were trying to get away from it.
Trying to get away from it. And
kept on following,
the police helicopter was coming close to the buildings, 5-story buildings. And in the video we have on our phone, that my friend recorded in the phone, you see the helicopter flying like a 5th floor, 4th floor. And you see the police helicopter coming lower.
The drone, and trying to get away from it.
And you see the helicopter coming lower and lower in the video.
We're trying to get the drone away from the helicopter. He keeps on following the drone. So that's when we decided to land it. That's when he started to hover here, like for about half an hour, just hovering. The NYPD is endangering himself because he's following our drone. We in no way, we have video proof that we are not following him. He's following us. So he's endangering our lives and himself by following us on top of our heads when we're just flying here. They're really wasting taxpayers' money with just following a little drone, man. It's not our fault it's illegal, you gotta take that up with the company. We ain't do nothing illegal. We on 300 feet. We ain't on 2,000 feet.
I mean, if you ask me, even at the White House, they just, they doing it right in front of our face like, and we're gonna keep lying to you people. You really seriously think that the government would be this lax if they had no clue where these drones are coming from? Let me let a liar tell you what it is right here. Check this next clip out.
We have no evidence at this time that the reported drone sightings pose a national security or a public safety threat, or have a foreign nexus. The Department of Homeland Security and the FBI are investigating these sightings, and they're working closely with state and local law enforcement to provide resources using numerous detection methods to better understand their origin. Using very sophisticated electronic detection technologies provided by federal authorities, we have not been able to, and neither have state or local law enforcement authorities, corroborate any of the reported visual sightings. To the contrary, upon review of available imagery, it appears that many of the reported sightings are actually manned aircraft that are being operated lawfully. The United States Coast Guard is providing support to the state of New Jersey and has confirmed that there is no evidence of any foreign-based involvement from coastal vessels. And importantly, there are no reported or confirmed drone sightings in any restricted airspace. Now, that said, we certainly take seriously the threat that can be posed by unmanned aircraft systems, which is why law enforcement and other agencies continue to support New Jersey and investigate the reports, even though they have uncovered no malicious activity or intent at this particular stage. While there is no known malicious activity occurring, the reported sightings there do, however, highlight a gap in authorities. And so we urge Congress to pass important legislation that will extend and expand existing counter-drone authorities so that we are better prepared to identify and mitigate any potential threats to airports or other critical infrastructure, and so that state and local authorities are provided all the tools that they need to respond to such threats.
Good news, guys. Those drones over New Jersey, nothing to worry about. And you can always tell when the governor of the state goes on live TV and says, I have no idea what this is. Perfect. Case closed. Yeah, because it can only be one of three things. A, it's our military. B, it's the little green guys from upstairs. Or C, it's another country surveying our land for whatever reason that I'm sure isn't nefarious.
Kind of just describe what you've experienced.
Been hearing about them, but last Tuesday night, a resident in town, one of my neighbors on my block, said that there were 8 overhead over our elementary school and municipal complex, which are, on the same block. So I got in my car and I rode around here, and by the time I got around here, which is only about a half-mile ride, the drones had all moved east over the town of Dover, New Jersey, kind of in between us. There's a large county park, and they were everywhere. I have a video of, it was 4 with a kind of a stationary drone. What it appeared to us was there was 1 drone that was just stationary and 4 were going back and forth in a scanning pattern. I'm a little older, so I would, look like Palm from back in the day, right? Back, forth, and they went over the town of Dover. I went down into Dover to see a better look, get some more pictures, and they moved east again. And that was my own personal observation. I have residents reporting, last night some residents reported that there were, over various times of the evening, they were watching, and there were 12 over our lake.
Maybe he just had bad breath and they were trying to get away from him.
Grainy, and they're still like little dots on cell phones. I'm hoping some folks with some really good equipment can get out there. I know there's a fellow in town who has infrared night equipment who's going out tonight looking.
Well, here we go. Congress, politicians, listen, they're the best and greatest liars. You understand me? They are the best at what they do. We cannot compete with them. They are the gatekeepers, and let's just put it this way. They're going to tell us what they want us to know, not the truth ever. All right? Don't ever get that twisted.
You're telling me we don't know what the hell these drones are in New Jersey are?
Another drone?
That's right. It's crazy. I mean, that's crazy. That's madness that we don't know what these drones are.
We have no idea where these drones come from, who owns them. We should be doing some very urgent intelligence analysis and take them out of the skies, especially if they're flying over airports or military bases.
All right. So why should we care? Even if all this theory sounds way the hell out there, the technologies exist to make all of it plausible. So holograms, drones, AI, deep fakes are advanced enough to fool large populations. And historically, going back to the year 1 AD, governments have shown that they're not above manipulating fear to get what they want. So now we get to what do we do? What the hell do we do about this? Number 1, stay frickin' critical. Do not take everything at face value. Always question why some stories are getting so much attention, and most importantly, who benefits from that story. And educate yourself. You need to look into historical precedents, maybe current technology. You could just use ChatGPT for a lot of this. and some government strategy. So the more you know, the harder it is for you to be manipulated.
The drones over New Jersey are not what you think they are. Probably the Department of Energy. Let me explain. So there are definitely holes with this theory that we can talk about in the comments. So everybody's got drones, right? The CIA, the FBI, DOD, everybody. You know who also has drones? These guys. So Lou Elizondo was talking in a hypothetical nature because he still has a security clearance and doesn't want to break any laws. But imagine if there was some danger to the public that they didn't want people to worry about, and therefore they wouldn't tell you about. So that's where these guys come in. They're in charge of all the nuclear stuff and keeping everything safe. If these guys had some sort of tip, there was something dangerous in that area, they may deploy drones to sniff it out.
So last night I was on the beach in Island State Park in Ocean County with the sheriff. He has been working it every single night. He's got his own tethered drones chronicling. One of his officers 2 nights ago saw 50 drones come in off the ocean right there. So we thought maybe they'll replicate it. They didn't, but we thought it was a possibility. Last night we had a number of other people there, including a commanding officer from the Coast Guard, who said that one of their 47-foot motor lifeboats was followed by between 12 and 30 of these drones as they went through the water, followed right behind them. You know, and I said, what's the rules of engagement? I mean, you do it if you're fighting against a narco trafficker or something. And they said, we don't know, we don't have any. So I did reach out to the commanding officer at the Joint Base, which is also in my district, and talked to him, had a very good conversation, Colonel Anthony Smith, Joint Base Fort Dix McGuire, the 87th Air Wing, Air Base Wing today. And I said, I know you have the capability, you've put out press releases, to identify and bring down drones. Why can't you deploy them, at least to the ocean? Bring one of these down, find out who's doing it. They have the capability. They said, well, we don't have the authority, only within the parameters of our base. Well, there's a national interest here. Our jets fly over the ocean all the time for training, so that perimeter is larger. So I did write Secretary Lloyd Austin asking that capability that may be sitting in a closet somewhere, I know they use it all the time, but bring it out. And I'm not saying you got to share it with the sheriffs. It'd be nice. Just do it yourself in the interest of the American public. So I would ask if you would echo that request. I mean, DOD's got the capability, and maybe Homeland Security does as well. When we had a Zoom meeting with Secretary Mayorkas, our governor put it together, and I appreciated that. But I asked them, why can't we just track where they go to? Seemingly they're going out to sea, to something, a ship. We don't know for sure.
On the drones that are flying all over the U.S. I want you all to think about this. Are they aliens? Nah. Okay? Nah. Are they enemies of our country? Hence, being Iran, being North Korea, Russia, China? It's a possibility, but now I'm leaning towards no. And here is why. These drones are flying over extremely sensitive areas. Like areas that normally, if anything's flying over, it's going to get knocked out of the air. And there's going to be some serious issues. Okay.
So, the drones that are currently flying over New Jersey. Well, I just read a theory about them, and I got to tell you, I'm a bit worried. Usually I'm a pretty chipper guy, but this idea that's just got kind of spun up on the web and has a little bit of backing. If it's true, well, there's probably a really good reason to be nervous. And the theory is that these drones that are flying around New Jersey and now have matriculated out to areas around the Northeast are actually what are known as high-powered or high-precision germanium detection drones. Now, these drones were ordered manufactured following 9/11 because we wanted to be able to detect gamma rays. And if you know what gamma rays come from, well, you know why this theory is really nerve-wracking, because gamma rays come from fissile material, well, nuclear material. Yeah, like a nuclear bomb. So the theory is that somebody, some terrorist cell or some foreign nation has managed to sneak a nuclear bomb onto U.S. soil, most likely into New Jersey, the port there, And now, of course, 2 weeks later, probably has moved around, which is why they're now checking in Connecticut and New York and wherever points beyond. Yeah. Out of all the theories that I've read, this one is the one that fills in the most plot holes. This fills in the most gaps. Like, why is the government lying so badly about this? Well, think about it. If you're the government, you don't want the populace in any way, shape, or form to know that there is a nuke being held by terrorists actively on U.S. soil. That would create mass panic immediately. That's a given. I mean, what do? You find out you have a nuke next year. You're going to leave quickly. So what do you say? You say, well, we don't know what they are because you don't want to tell them they're germanium detecting equipment flying around. But you know that it's not a threat. Of course you know it's not a threat because a threat is what they're detecting for, not them themselves. You also tell them when these things crash to stay away from it. Could be that these actual equipment, believe it or not, they may have a little bit of radiation in them in order to detect radiation. Or they just don't want you to see what they are. Because if you figure out that they're radiation detection equipment, well, the gig's up at that point in time. They also use a super cold millimeter wave guidance system, which would be near indetectable, which is why they can't figure out the frequency these things are flying. It still doesn't explain the silence of the power system.
Number one, stay frickin' critical. Do not take everything at face value. Always question why some stories are getting so much attention, and most importantly, who benefits from that story. And educate yourself. You need to look into historical precedents, maybe current technology. You could just use ChatGPT for a lot of this, and some government strategies. So the more you know, the harder it is for you to be manipulated.
When I tell you there's so many conflicting stories, I mean, I don't know where to start, where to finish at. So many conflicting stories. Even when it comes to the government officials, they're all saying something different. But, however, they're sticking to the script. What script that is, you may ask, I'm talking about? The script of let's bamboozle everybody. This is no different from the Plan DZ. You know what that means, right? The Plan DZ or the 9 with the 11. You understand what I mean? The government is at work. They've been at work before you and me existed, and it's going to continue to keep going on. But you have to have your smart thinking cap on. You got to think critical, all right? So go in the comments. Let me know what you think about all of this right here. Don't get distracted. That is all I'm telling you. Don't get distracted. Don't forget to hit that like, comment, share, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.